The third law is the obstacle is the way. So what does it mean the obstacle is the way for you, Robert?
It's that saying of like you have to lick the frog. I can't remember where that's.
Eat the frog.
Eat the frog first.
So it talks about when you have a huge to-do list and you just feeling overwhelmed about it. So
It's doing the things.
just do the hardest thing that you possibly see.
Yeah.
That's how they call eat the frog.
Exactly. And I think where the obstacle is the way is that the challenges that we face are in which the ones that we best benefit from. I think if you're leaning into the things that scare you the most, that's where
the growth comes
from. And I think if you're leaning towards a life in which you want to better, you have to do things in which are obstacles. Because I think that that's the way forward. Because otherwise you would be doing them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's as simple as that. And I think that where it kind of comes to practicing those virtues, it's being curious and open and using sort of as an opportunity to gain more wisdom, in that we all have to do hard things eventually. And postponing a problem will only extend it. It will never get rid of it. And I learnt that the hard way. Because sometimes if you keep extending...
What was your hard way?
As in, like, I think just every problem that I had that I would just kind of push off, it either built up and got worse and my anxiousness grew because I was like, I keep putting it off and it's still in the back of my mind. It's not going away.
Mm.
But if I just dealt with that problem straight away, it would have made my life easier and wasn't so bad in the first place and didn't grow into this thing that it didn't need to. So and not all the time it grows into things you don't need to. I think if you extend it for a long enough period of time, it might do. But yeah, it's kind of not being a pussy about it. Do you know what I mean? And just fuck it. This is me. This is all I have. And going in with that mindset, well, I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
It's an obstacle. It's in the way. I need to get up and attack it and deal with it head first. Because for me, that was always a problem. It was like being fearful, being scared of the problems that I had to deal with.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you?
Ooh, I wasn't ready for this. Yeah, it means for me it probably was. I was The obstacle is the way for me means do the thing that you are most afraid of. I remember or do the thing that you don't want to do. So I remember when I found out about David Goggins, he said that growth comes from the things that you hate the most doing. That's the way to say it.
Good enough.
Yeah, good
Hate doing
enough.
the most.
Sorry for my grammar.
Sorry, English isn't your first language.
Yeah, that's okay.
Smash
So yeah, and I remember I was watching it, and then at that time I was singing as well, and I was like, "What does he mean? Like, I hate singing. Why am I supposed to sing?"
Yeah.
But then when I found coach hours and I found running, those things that I hate, but they benefit me. So I think you have to find again, it goes back to our previous episode, how to build resilience and overcome challenges is all about finding those little things that you hate doing. And I think this is your obstacle, just to attack the day with these things in place that you hate the most, but you're still doing them because you just simply hate them. And again, being fearful of stuff and still doing it. So for me, it was many things. It was talking to girls was one of them. It was fighting, obviously, was another thing that was just. I'm not saying I'm not afraid fighting now, but I definitely manage it a lot better than I used to.
I mean, yeah, like I always try and use the analogy that it's far harder to find an alternative route around an obstacle than it is
Yeah.
just going through it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think you'll like if you picture it like a maze, like pushing through that wall will get you closer to where you
Yeah.
want to go.
Yeah.
But finding finding a way around it, if there is one or if any,
You're just gonna
is
get
far longer.
lost.
You're going to get lost, and like you'll end up having to go through it anyway.
Absolutely.
And I think that you can't, like, a problem that you're trying to avoid isn't, like, in my experience, worth it.
It's just going to compound in the future, and
That's
and
what it is.
It's just gonna hit you so much that you're just going to crumble. I mean, that was yeah. I mean, it goes back to fighting. I was so afraid to do the fighting. But I still wanted to do, but like I was like, I don't know, like what should I do? And I know it started to build up in me, in my head so much that I was like, I have to do it because I'm just going to regret it for the rest of my life that I'm not doing it because I'm just being a pussy. So yeah, you have to. The obstacle, the way. For me, is just do the thing that you are most afraid of, or the thing that you hate the most. That's it. That's how you.
Doing the thing you hate the most.
That's it. That's how you have to say it.